Welcome back. In this deep dive, we're going to be exploring the science of aging,
Okay.
and we're going to be drawing insights from Aubrey de Grey's book, Ending Aging.
Okay.
Our goal is to really equip you with a solid understanding of why we age
Right.
and what are the potential interventions that are being developed to slow down or even reverse this process.
Yeah.
Um, de Grey introduces this concept of the pro-aging trance as a significant barrier to progress in aging research.
hmm
Could you elaborate a bit on this idea?
So the pro-aging trance refers to a widespread societal acceptance of aging as an inevitable part of life.
Okay.
And this deeply ingrained belief hinders scientific advancements by limiting funding and discouraging research efforts.
It seems that that stems from this perception that aging is natural
Yes.
and therefore should not be combated, unlike a disease which we actively fight.
Precisely.
But de Grey argues that this distinction is misleading.
Right.
He says that aging, while universal, is not simply a matter of time passing. It's a result of accumulated damage at the cellular level. So instead of a predetermined biological clock ticking away,
Yeah.
it's more like wear and tear on the body's intricate machinery.
Yes, much like a car gradually deteriorates over time due to accumulated wear and tear.
Okay.
Our bodies experience a similar decline in function as cells become damaged and lose their ability to repair themselves effectively.
This raises the question of why different species age at varying rates.
Yeah.
If aging is driven by this damage accumulation, shouldn't all organisms age similarly?
Well, while all organisms experience cellular damage, the rate at which it accumulates and the effectiveness of repair mechanisms vary significantly across species.
Right.
Some species have evolved more robust repair and maintenance systems, leading to longer lifespans.
So longevity is partially determined by the efficiency of these biological repair mechanisms.
Yes, and de Grey argues that by understanding and manipulating these mechanisms,
Okay.
we can potentially slow down or even reverse the aging process in humans.
So this leads us to de Grey's central argument that aging is not an immutable fate, but rather a treatable condition.
Precisely. He proposes that by targeting the specific types of damage that contribute to aging,
Okay.
we can develop interventions to repair or mitigate these damages, potentially extending both lifespan and, crucially, health span.
To systematically address these damages, de Grey categorizes them into what he terms the 7 deadly sins of aging.
These 7 categories provide a framework for understanding the complex process of aging.
Okay.
And by dissecting the aging process into these distinct types of damage, de Grey argues we can develop more targeted and effective therapies.
So let's delve into these categories.
Sure.
The first sin is cell loss, which involves the depletion of critical cell populations in organs.
Yes.
How does this contribute to age-related decline?
As we age, we lose cells in vital organs like the heart, the brain, and muscles.
Okay.
This loss reduces organ function and contributes to various age-related diseases.
And what strategies does de Grey propose to address cell loss?
One promising approach is stem cell therapy. By replenishing lost cells with healthy, functional stem cells, we could potentially restore organ function and combat age-related decline.
So it's about replenishing the body's workforce with fresh, capable cells.
Yes, imagine being able to regenerate damaged heart tissue or replenish lost brain cells.
Wow.
Stem cell therapy holds immense potential for addressing a wide range of age-related conditions.
Moving on to the second sin, we have mutations,
Right.
specifically nuclear and mitochondrial mutations. Could you explain the distinction and their impact on aging?
So nuclear mutations refer to damage in the DNA within the cell's nucleus, primarily associated with cancer development.
Okay.
Mitochondrial mutations, on the other hand, affect the DNA of mitochondria, the powerhouses of our cells.
So these mutations disrupt the cell's energy production and contribute to various age-related diseases.
Exactly, as mitochondria accumulate, damage their efficiency in producing energy declines, leading to increased oxidative stress and cellular dysfunction.
What interventions does de Grey suggest for tackling these mutations?
He proposes several radical approaches, including gene therapy to repair or replace damaged DNA, and allotopic expression, which involves creating backup copies of vital genes in a more protected location.
So this sounds like a highly sophisticated form of genetic engineering.
It is. The concept of allotopic expression, for example, involves transferring genes from the mitochondria to the cell nucleus, providing a more secure environment for these essential genes.
Essentially creating a redundant system to ensure continued functionality even when the original genes are damaged.
Yes, and while these techniques are still in their early stages, the research is progressing rapidly, and they hold significant promise for addressing the detrimental effects of mutations.
Next, we have death-resistant cells, or senescent cells.
Yes.
What are these cells and how do they contribute to aging?
So senescent cells are cells that have stopped dividing but haven't died.
Right.
They linger in tissues and release harmful substances that damage surrounding cells and contribute to inflammation and tissue dysfunction.
They're like cellular zombies disrupting the normal function of surrounding tissues.
An apt analogy.
Yeah.
The Gray proposes therapies to selectively eliminate these senescent cells, essentially clearing out these dysfunctional cells to restore tissue health.
This sounds like a promising strategy for mitigating the detrimental effects of these lingering cells.
Right.
Now let's move on to the next two categories, which both involve the accumulation of cellular waste.
Okay.
Extracellular junk and intracellular junk.
Yeah.
Could you differentiate between these two types of waste and explain their impact on aging?
So extracellular junk refers to the buildup of harmful substances outside of cells.
Okay.
A prominent example is amyloid plaques, which are implicated in Alzheimer's disease.
All right.
Intracellular junk, on the other hand, refers to the accumulation of waste products inside cells, such as lipofuscin, which builds up in lysosomes, the cell's recycling centers.
So we're talking about cellular garbage accumulating both inside and outside of cells,
Precisely.
disrupting normal cellular processes.
This accumulation interferes with cell signaling, nutrient transport, and waste removal, contributing to a wide range of age-related diseases.
How does de Grey propose to address these waste accumulation problems?
He suggests several approaches, including boosting the function of lysosomes, developing therapies to break down or remove specific types of waste, and even using enzymes derived from soil bacteria, which are highly efficient at breaking down tough materials.
So we're looking at enhancing natural waste disposal systems, developing targeted therapies, and even borrowing solutions from nature's master recyclers.
Yes, the goal is to find effective ways to clear out this cellular debris and restore the cell's ability to function optimally.
This brings us to the final category of damage, extracellular cross-linking.
Right?
What is cross-linking and how does it affect our bodies as we age?
Extracellular cross-linking refers to the stiffening of tissues due to chemical bonding between proteins.
Okay.
This process is primarily driven by molecules called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs, which form when sugars react with proteins.
So as AGs accumulate, our tissues become less flexible and more rigid.
Exactly. This stiffening is particularly detrimental in arteries, contributing to cardiovascular disease,
Right.
and in joints, leading to reduced mobility.
How does de Grey propose to address this issue of cross-linking?
He highlights a drug called elagibrium, which has shown promise in breaking these AG crosslinks, restoring flexibility to tissues.
Okay.
Additionally, he explores strategies for preventing AG formation in the first place through dietary interventions and drugs that inhibit AG production.
So the approach involves both breaking down existing crosslinks and preventing the formation of new ones.
Yes, and this highlights a recurring theme in de Grey's work. A multifaceted approach to addressing the various aspects of aging, combining both preventative and restorative strategies.
These 7 deadly sins provide a comprehensive framework for understanding the diverse damage that contributes to aging.
It does.
And it's clear that de Grey advocates for a systematic approach targeting each of these categories to effectively combat age-related decline.
Indeed, his framework emphasizes the need to address aging as a complex, multifactorial problem, moving beyond simplistic solutions and embracing a more comprehensive approach to extending both lifespan and health span.
Now that we've laid the foundation by understanding the 7 deadly sins, let's move on to exploring some of these potential interventions in more detail.
Certainly, we can delve deeper into specific categories and explore the cutting-edge research being conducted to address these challenges and bring de Grey's vision of ending aging closer to reality.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. Let's delve a bit deeper into a few of the 7 deadly sins
Okay.
and examine some of the potential interventions that are being explored to address them.
Sounds good. Where would you like to begin?
Let's start with mitochondrial mutations.
Okay.
As we discussed, these mutations contribute significantly to age-related decline by impairing cellular energy production.
Right. These mutations affect the DNA within the mitochondria, the powerhouses of our cells, leading to reduced energy output and increased oxidative stress.
Precisely one intriguing approach de Grey proposes to combat this issue is allotopic expression.
Okay.
This involves relocating specific genes from the mitochondrial DNA to the cell's nucleus.
This sounds like a highly complex procedure.
Yeah.
Could you explain the rationale behind this approach?
Sure. So the cell's nucleus offers a more protected environment for DNA compared to the mitochondria,
Okay.
which are constantly exposed to damaging free radicals generated during energy production.
Right.
By relocating these vital genes to the nucleus, we aim to shield them from damage and ensure continued functionality.
So it's about creating a backup system for these essential genes,
Exactly.
ensuring their preservation even as the mitochondria experience age-related decline.
Yes, while technically challenging, this approach holds substantial promise for mitigating the detrimental effects of mitochondrial mutations.
What specific challenges do researchers face in implementing this gene relocation process?
Well, one significant hurdle is ensuring that the proteins encoded by these relocated genes can effectively reach the mitochondria where they are needed. This involves overcoming cellular transport mechanisms and ensuring proper protein targeting.
It sounds like a logistical challenge at the cellular level.
Indeed. But de Grey outlines strategies like modifying protein sequences and utilizing helper molecules to facilitate this transport process.
So researchers are actively developing tools and techniques to overcome these hurdles and make allotopic expression a viable solution.
Yes, the research in this area is rapidly advancing, and while still in its early stages, it offers a compelling approach to address the issue of mitochondrial mutations.
Beyond allotopic expression, what other interventions are being explored to address mitochondrial dysfunction?
Another promising avenue is protofection, which involves periodically replacing damaged mitochondrial DNA with healthy copies.
So it's like a mitochondrial transplant,
In essence, yes.
replenishing the cell with functional mitochondria.
However, this presents its own set of challenges, primarily in developing effective delivery systems to introduce healthy DNA into the mitochondria without disrupting cellular processes.
It sounds like a highly precise and delicate procedure.
It is. However, nanotechnology is opening up new possibilities in this realm, with researchers developing nanoparticles capable of carrying genetic material and targeting it to specific locations within cells.
So imagine microscopic delivery vehicles transporting healthy DNA directly to the mitochondria,
Precisely.
potentially rejuvenating their function.
This fusion of nanotechnology and gene therapy holds immense potential for addressing not only mitochondrial dysfunction, but also other aspects of age-related damage.
This leads us to another of the 7 deadly sins, intracellular junk.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, the accumulation of lipofuscin, a waste product that builds up in lysosomes, the cell's recycling centers.
Yes, lipofuscin accumulation is a significant contributor to cellular dysfunction as it hinders the lysosome's ability to effectively break down and recycle waste materials.
This buildup of waste disrupts normal cellular processes, leading to further damage and contributing to age-related decline.
Precisely. To address this challenge, de Grey proposes a rather innovative approach, utilizing enzymes derived from soil bacteria.
Soil bacteria. Could you elaborate on why these bacteria are relevant to addressing intracellular junk?
So soil bacteria have evolved highly efficient mechanisms for breaking down tough, long-lasting materials.
Okay.
They are nature's master recyclers.
So the idea is to harness these bacteria's waste disposal expertise to clean up the cellular debris accumulating within our cells.
Exactly. This approach, known as bioremediation, is already being applied in environmental cleanup efforts to break down pollutants.
Interesting.
De Grey suggests adapting this concept to clear out the intracellular junk that accumulates with age.
It's fascinating how nature often provides solutions to complex problems.
Indeed. Of course, delivering these bacterial enzymes into cells and ensuring they function effectively is a challenge.
Right.
De Grey suggests strategies like gene therapy, where the genes for these enzymes are introduced into our cells, allowing our bodies to produce them.
So we're essentially equipping ourselves with the tools they need to efficiently manage waste and maintain cellular health.
Yes, the goal is to enhance the cell's natural waste disposal mechanisms, preventing the buildup of intracellular junk and mitigating its detrimental effects.
Now let's shift our focus to extracellular cross-linking, the process that stiffens tissues over time due to the accumulation of advanced glycation end products, or AGs.
Right. AGs are a significant contributor to age-related tissue stiffening, particularly affecting arteries and joints, leading to cardiovascular disease and reduced mobility.
The stiffening is like a gradual caramelization of our tissues, making them less flexible and more prone to damage.
An apt analogy, de Grey highlights ilogibrium, a drug that has shown potential in breaking down these AG crosslinks, restoring tissue flexibility.
So eladrium acts like a decaramelizing agent,
in a sense,
reversing the stiffening effects of AGs.
However, ilogibrium has faced setbacks in human trials, highlighting the complexity of translating promising research into effective therapies.
It's a reminder that the path from scientific discovery to clinical application is often challenging
Yes,
and requires rigorous testing and refinement.
indeed. Despite these setbacks, de Grey remains optimistic about elogebrium and similar drugs.
Okay.
He believes further research and development could lead to more effective therapies targeting AGE cross-linking.
Beyond elogebrium, what other strategies are being explored to address extracellular cross-linking?
De Grey advocates for a multifaceted approach, including dietary interventions to reduce AGE formation and the development of drugs that specifically inhibit AGE production.
So it's a combination of lifestyle modifications and targeted pharmaceutical interventions to prevent and reverse the detrimental effects of cross-linking.
Precisely. By addressing both the formation and breakdown of AGEs, we can potentially mitigate their contribution to age-related tissue stiffening and its associated health consequences.
So we've explored several potential interventions for addressing these specific types of damage that contribute to aging.
Right.
But now I want to shift our focus to de Grey's broader vision of achieving longevity escape velocity, or LEV.
Okay.
Could you explain that a little bit?
So LEV represents a pivotal point where advancements in anti-aging therapies actually outpace the rate of aging itself.
Okay.
It's a point where we can effectively outrun the detrimental effects of aging,
Wow.
potentially leading to dramatically extended lifespans.
This concept really challenges conventional notions of human lifespan
It does.
and raises a lot of profound questions about the future of our species.
Uh-huh.
What are some of the implications that de Grey envisions if LEV becomes a reality?
So one immediate concern that's often raised is the potential impact on population growth and resource management.
Right.
If lifespans are significantly extended, wouldn't this strain existing resources and exacerbate environmental challenges?
It's a very valid concern.
Yeah.
How does de Grey address this?
So de Grey acknowledges this concern, but he argues that achieving LEV would likely go hand in hand with significant technological advancements in other fields,
Okay.
including sustainable energy resource management and food production.
So the same ingenuity that is driving progress in anti-aging research could also lead to solutions for managing a larger, longer-lived population.
Precisely. He envisions a future where technological innovation and societal adaptation work in concert to address the challenges posed by extended lifespans.
Another concern that I've heard is the potential for social stagnation.
Yeah.
If people live for centuries, wouldn't this lead to a very rigid social structure with younger generations struggling to find opportunities?
Well, de Grey contends that this fear is based on a static view of society.
Okay.
He believes that a world with extended lifespans would likely see a transformation in social structures, work patterns, and education systems.
So instead of perpetuating existing hierarchies,
Right.
extended lifespans could lead to more dynamic and adaptable societal structures.
Yes. He envisions a society where individuals might pursue multiple careers, engage in lifelong learning, and experience different life stages at different ages,
Okay.
fostering a more fluid and dynamic social landscape.
This shift would require pretty fundamental rethinking of our current societal norms and expectations.
Indeed. And this process of societal adaptation would be an ongoing evolution,
Right.
shaped by the unique challenges and opportunities presented by extended lifespans.
Beyond these societal implications, I'm curious about the psychological impact on individuals living significantly longer lives.
Yeah.
How would people cope with living for centuries?
Right.
And what would their lives actually look like?
These are very profound questions that touch on the very nature of human experience. While definitive answers remain elusive, de Grey argues that our understanding of psychology and human motivation would likely evolve alongside these advancements in lifespan.
So rather than assuming that current psychological models would remain static, we should anticipate a dynamic interplay between human nature and extended lifespans.
Yes. He envisions a future where individuals might find meaning and purpose in different ways,
Okay.
perhaps through deeper relationships, creative pursuits, or a renewed connection to nature and the universe.
It's a very thought-provoking concept,
It is.
suggesting that extended lifespans could lead to a deeper exploration of human potential
Yeah.
and a redefinition of what it means to live a fulfilling life.
Uh-huh.
This deep dive into de Grey's ending aging has been both enlightening and challenging.
Yeah, it has.
And it's clear that his work really pushes the boundaries of scientific inquiry and compels us to confront these fundamental questions about aging longevity and the future of our species.
Indeed. While some of de Grey's ideas may seem radical or even fantastical, they highlight the importance of challenging conventional thinking, exploring new frontiers, and envisioning possibilities that might seem impossible today,
Right.
but could become realities tomorrow.
Thank you so much for joining us on this exploration of the science of aging and the potential for a future where aging might become a choice, not a destiny.